What's up, guys? I still have a few projectors and we continue to test them. Today we will talk about REPABOW Projector. If you think you have heard of this name somewhere, you are right, because we tested the REPABOW projector about a year ago. However, this is a 2024 upgraded model with much higher brightness of 1200 ANSI, 1080p native resolution, a large 5-inch LCD TFT display, up to 300 inches screen size, dual-band Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.3, and 20 watts dual speakers. As you can see, while the design of the new projector is pretty much the same, it has much better features. You know, 1200 ANSI is a very high brightness for a projector under $250. So I am very interested to see it. So the new REPABOW projector comes to you in this box. By the way, there is a sticker on the side of the box with a model name. So the projector has a full name REPABOW ML450. When you open the box, you will see that the projector is packed in a protective foam. That's very good. There is also a package with accessories, such as remote control, power cable, AV cable, and user manual. I am surprised there is no HDMI cable included here. If you want to connect your laptop, TV box, or game console, you will need this cable. So the first, and perhaps the most striking difference between the new 2024 projector and the previous model is its color. Now it is light blue or even gray. Other than the color, the design is identical. First, REPABOW ML450 is not a compact projector, but it is also not the biggest one I have tested lately. Its dimensions are 230 by 215 by 120 mm. The weight is 2176 grams. One of the main design features of this projector is the control buttons on the top panel. They are large and very nice to press. However, I don't think the buttons are very reliable because they are wobbly. The front panel of the projector has a large lens and IR receiver, a speaker, another infrared receiver, as well as power connector, 2 USB ports, headphones jack, AV port, and HDMI port are on the back. We can also remove this cover on the back and clean the dust filter. By the way, the fan inside the projector looks big. We will check its noise level a little later. One of the most important updates in the new projector is a fully sealed optical engine. This prevents dust, moisture, and other objects from getting into the optical components, which prolongs the lifespan of the projector. The REPABOW ML450 has a focus adjustment wheel on the side. The Keystone correction is electric, and it is done through the settings menu. We will also check that out a little bit later. Finally, the projector has 4 rubber pads on the bottom, as well as a tripod mount. By the way, there is also a warning sticker on how to use a projector, such as do not look into the lens, do not block the ventilation port, and so on. So while the new REPABOW projector looks the same as the previous 2023 model, and only the color is different, I like the design with the large control buttons on top and silver lens on the front and other details. However, the main changes are inside the new projector. Let's turn it on and talk about its features. First, there is a screen with REPABOW logo on it. Then we are prompted to select the language of the system, as well as connect to the Wi-Fi network. By the way, when you first turn on the projector, do not forget to adjust the focus. You can also go to the settings menu and correct Keystone. The new REPABOW projector has 4D and 4P Keystone correction. You can adjust vertical and horizontal angles. There is also a corner correction, Keystone correction reset, zoom in out, and projection mode available in the settings. Let's go back to the home screen. You know, I have seen this system on some other projectors before, and I think it is based on Android. However, there are no apps here, such as YouTube, Netflix, and you cannot install them, so I cannot call it a smart system. First, we can select the input source, USB, AV or HDMI. And then there are Android, iOS, and AP mirroring. We will check them out a little later. The projector even has an electronic manual, where you can read about focus and keystone adjustment, wired, HDMI, USB connection, and more. After that, you can change the wallpaper of the home screen. The maintenance section provides instructions on how to clean the projector. In companion mode, we can select a clock mode, wall painting, screensaver, and ambient mode. Now let's go to the settings menu. I have already shown you projection settings, so we will not dwell on that. In network settings, we can connect to the Wi-Fi. I have already done that. We will check the Bluetooth connection a little later. There are even some themes available on this projector, such as standard, purple, blue, and fresh. I like the standard theme, so I will keep it. The other settings include boot signal input, power on mode, Keystone, screensaver, screensaver timeout shutdown, language settings, date and time, boot video volume, and restore factory settings. There are no picture settings in this menu, but you can find them on the home screen. Here you can change the image mode, color temperature, volume, sound mode, surround sound, shutdown timer, and projection settings. By the way, you can quickly access the picture settings by pressing the menu button on the remote control. Okay, now it's time to test the screen mirroring. You can use your Android, Windows, Mac, or iOS devices to mirror their screens on the projector. I will be using my iPhone. First, you need to make sure the projector and your smartphone are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. Next, just take your phone, go to screen mirroring and select the projector. That's it. By the way, the new REPABOW projector supports dual-band Wi-Fi 6. There is also Bluetooth support on this projector, so you can connect wireless earbuds or external speakers to it. However, I don't think you need external speakers because the built-in ones are very good. The REPABOW projector even has Bluetooth speaker mode, so you can use it as a Bluetooth speaker for your smartphone. You know, these are probably one of the best speakers among all projectors I have tested. The powerful 20-watt stereo speakers provide high-quality sound.
somebody to show the way. Yeah, I was a heartbeat with no sound till you came around. Yeah, you showed me colors, light in the darkness. You were the only thing that when we stay the same. Swear that we never lost the flame. No
The volume is very high, so the projector can be used outdoors. Even the bass is good. On the other hand, the projector is quite noisy. The noise level at a close range is about 49 decibels. And it is 46 decibels at 1 meter. You will not hear the noise of the projector behind the loudspeaker, though. Finally, we can talk about image quality of the REPABOW projector. Since it doesn't have a smart system, I have connected my laptop via HDMI cable. The native resolution of this projector is 1080p, but it supports 4K video playback. Overall, the image is sharp, but the very small borders on the right and left are a little blurry. If you try to make them clear, the center of the image will be soft. By the way, my projector is placed about 3 meters away from the wall, and the projection screen size is about 100 inches. The minimum screen size is 40 inches at 1.4 meters, and the maximum is 300 inches at 8.5 meters. The contrast ratio of the REPABOW projector is 25,000 to 1. That's a lot for a budget projector, and the colors are really good. One of the main upgrades and features of the new REPABOW ML450 is 1200 ANSI, or 20,000 lumens brightness. Just so you understand, the previous projector had 550 ANSI brightness. You know, although I cannot measure the brightness and confirm that there is actually 1200 ANSI here, the image looks very bright. I can really believe the projector has such a high brightness. Even in my room with many lights on the ceiling, the projection is visible. However, a projector is not a TV, so it is better to use it in a dark room.
Love is gone.
We're going to save our friends!
Everyone I ever loved is gone.
We're going to save our friends!
You guys dominating right there. Third and 12. Stepping up, and lofts it. He is picked off. He overthrew a target. And yay! He did something right.
Now you can watch some more videos without my comments.
He's not. There's a monster. Nobody kills me but me! Here he comes!
Did you really think that she was going to move away from him?
On with it quickly. Isak hoping to get away. And right on the edge there with Ruben Diaz. The Townsend on the hold. And Kansas City is on the board.
So now I want to tell you what I liked about the upgraded REPABOW projector. Although its design is almost the same as the previous model, except for the color, I think it looks nice. An important upgrade of the new projector is a fully sealed optical engine. Now it will last longer without black spots or loss of quality. The speaker is definitely an advantage of this projector. This is one of the best speakers of any projector I have tested. I am sure you will not need to connect external speakers to it. Finally, the image quality of this projector is really good, mainly because of the high brightness and contrast. However, it is not perfect projector like any other, and the first thing I'd like to point it out is its noise. In addition, I saw on the Amazon product page that the projector has a new MediaTek MTK 9269 chipset, 8 plus 32 gigs large capacity, and Android 9.0 OS. However, I didn't see a smart Android system here. You still need to connect an external device to the projector to watch YouTube, Netflix, and more. You should understand that this projector is only $219, and it is very good for its price. Thank you for watching. See you soon!